Hello there and welcome to another Gamer Tech review. Now in this review we're going to be taking a look at a power supply unit. It was kindly given to us by the guys over at Enermax, so thank you very much. And it is this, the Triathlor FC 550W Modular Power Supply. Oh yeah, check it out, isn't it lovely? Now this thing is absolutely packed with features, and when I say packed, I mean packed more than anchovies in a pack of anchovies. So looking at the features on the back of it, you have got the ATX 12V version 2.31 ready, so it's compliant with the newest standard for desktop power supplies, which is, you know, obviously that's quite important because they need to be up to date with everything that's going on in today's technology world. It's 82 plus ready, so it's 82 to 88% efficiency at 20% to 100% load. So that's crazily good. It's compliant with the 80 plus bronze, and as you can see on the box there, you have got the 80 plus bronze award jobby, which it has received. So very, very good indeed. Stability ready. It's got advanced dual D to D design, so that's DC to DC. It lowers energy loss for higher efficiency. Fantastic. It has also got its own TV fan inside, so along with a lot of power supply manufacturers, for some reason, even if they make their own fans, they won't put their own fans in the device, which sounds really silly because keeping it cool is very important, but these guys have put in their Batwing fan, and we'll have a little bit of a look at that when we get it out of the box, but that thing's really cool. So going down here more, you've got, it's future ready because it has got modular cables in there, so you can kind of mix and match what you want. So if you want to have more graphics cards or more hard drives or something, then you just swap the cables around and that's fine for you. You can do that, that's cool. Unique air inlet, industry leading protection circuitry, advanced fuzzy logic 12cm fan speed control, yes, multiple 12V rails, which is very important when it comes to safety, and it's DXXI ready. Here's the back of the box here for you. There's all that information that I was reading out to you, so as you can see there's loads of things. Also on this side of the box here, it tells you how many cables come in there and what cables and what sorts and everything. So having a little look here, in our version, which is the 550W at the top, we get 3 6-pin plus 2-pin, so PCIe, so that's for your graphic cards there. We get 6 SATA, so that's for things like hard drives and optical bays. We've got our 4-pin Molexes, which is for other devices, so like generally more older devices, so older optical bays can use it for LED lights depending on the connections here, and FDD, which is for floppy disk drive, so if you've got a floppy disk you want to put in there then you can power it. Also you get some front media bays which use that power as well, so always handy to have one of those lying about the place. But without further ado, let's just crack the box open and have a look at the goodies inside. So looking in the box, what we got here first to have a little look at, we have this bag here. Now it is a modular power supply, as we said earlier, and in this little bag we've got all the modular cables for us to have a little look at, haven't we? So we've got their black and their thin cables, so routing them around the case isn't going to be too hard to do. Just going to get this one open for you so you can check out the length of the cable. So that's the length of the cable there for you. That's the side that connects into the power supply. So it is 6-pin, 12 pins on there, and then those all connect through, and then you've got your 6 plus 2-pin cable there, and that'll be for graphics card. So that can pop down here. And then we've got, these are SATA cables. SATA cables again. There's our floppy disk one along with our Molexes there. Here's your double graphics card one, so if you've got 2 cards in the machine which require 6 or 8 pins each, or if you've got 1 card which needs a lot of power, then that'll sort that one out there for you. We've also got our mains plug for it and the cable, so then that plugs into your wall and then into the power supply when it's in your machine. You also get given a pair of Velcro straps, so in regards to your cable management, keeping everything tidy, you got that in there. It's a nice little extra, so thank you guys for that. Then you've got a catalogue for other things that they have included in there. You also have a manual for the power supply unit itself. You get 4 fixing screws in there, and of course you get the power supply itself. Now I'm just going to take all the bubble wrap off it so I can show you what it looks like. It is nice. Here we have it. So this is the Enermax Triathlor FC 550W power supply modular version in all of its glory. So looking at the back here, this is where all the modular cables go in. Now you may be thinking there's cables coming out, that's not modular. Well, these cables here are for the motherboard, and as they're pretty much 100% necessary because nothing's going to happen in a computer without these plugged in, it's quite essential that these are there, and therefore they don't have to be modular. Also, they've done separate braiding for these cables. As you can see, they've got black with gold bits through, so carrying on with the colour scheme from the power supply unit there on the side with the Enermax logos, it does look very nice. I will give them that. It does look very pretty. There's our connections on the 2 cables here, so you see it is 2 cables that's coming out. We've got our 24-pin motherboard power here, and then we've got our CPU power here, so it's 2 4s, and quite handily, as you can see there's little clips on there. All you need to do is push it together, clips together, and then it makes an 8-pin. So if you've got a lot of power needing needing to go to your motherboard, then you've got your cable there that can do it, which is very handy to do. Having a bit of a close-up at the modular power connections on the back here, you can see we've got 5 of the standard ones, and this is where the Sata and Molex power connectors connect into, and then these 2 red ones here are where our graphics card power ones connect into. So all you need to do is take one of your powery things, plug it into the appropriate slot, and then you're all ready to go. Now in the box, as we said earlier, you do get 2 of these graphics cables. One of them's got a single 6-pin plus 2 pin on there, and the other one's got 2 6-pin plus 2 pins on there. So in total, you can have a maximum of 3 connections for a graphics card straight after the box. You also get included, as we said, we get 2 Sata cables and 1 Molex cable. So on the Sata cables, you get one of them which has 1, 2, 3 Sata connections on there. The other Sata cable has 3 Sata connections and also 1 Molex on there. So if you need a Molex for anything in particular, then you've got one on there, which is quite handy. And then the other one here has 1, 2, 3, 4 Molex connectors and also that floppy disk drive on there, which also gets used by like front bays and sound cards and things like that. So always handy to have one of those on there. So having a look at the top of the device now, you have got the fan on there. Now, as we said earlier, Enermax have used their own fan in the device. They've used their Batwing fan, which is very efficient at clumping all the air together in 2 different sections on each blade because of the design of them and forcing that air downwards. And the device is also very clever because what it does is it regulates the fan speed to keep the device at a regular temperature of 40 degrees or around there, like give or take a few degrees up or south of that there. So if you're not really using your PC a lot and it's not drawing too much power, then the fan will sit there quite quietly and happily just kind of doing a few rotations for you to keep to keep the temperature down on there around the 40-degree mark. Whereas when you do get a lot more draw from there, so if say you've got a couple of graphics cards in SLI or Crossfire, or you're running loads of hard drives in there and using the machine as a server unit and it's drawing a lot more power from the device itself, it will increase the fan speed and keep the power supply at that 40-degree for you. So it keeps sound down, it keeps temperature down, it increases the longevity of the power supply, which is really, really cool. Now looking at the side, which you'll see on your PC here, we have our little airy grilly bit here, and then you've got our cable plug here and your on-off switch, which is very important because without that you wouldn't be able to turn the machine on or off, which is, yeah, you know, quite an integral part of a computer, really. Now, if you have any concerns about whether or not this power supply will be able to power your machine, if you head over to the Enermax website, they actually have a PSU calculator on there. So all you do is you pop in all your information in there. So you say how many hard drives you got, what graphics cards you got, what type of motherboard you got, what processor you've got, all of that stuff, and actually tell you roughly what power your PC is drawing and what power supply you need for that. So I ran that on my machine and it said I needed 485 watts minimum recommended to run it. Now I've got a high-end motherboard in there. I've got an i7 at 3.2. I've got HD Radeon 7870 in there, 2 SSDs and 2 other large hard drives in there as well. So I've got quite a bit in there, and that's only 485 watts. And this power supply powers that really, really easily. Didn't have any problems with it at all, which is grandtastic. Grand and fantastic at the same time. Well, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've learned a lot about the power supply and seen how awesome it is. But yeah, do check out Enermax and their website. Their link is below. They've got a lot of cool products on there, so thank you very much for sending me this one. Also, while you're here, why not check out another video? We've got some Minecrafty ones and some Slender ones. Feel free to like, comment, rate and subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Sod him. Ah! It's attacking! It's the child! Oh god.